Hello, welcome to another interesting maths class. My name is Manuela Ndiomu and today I'll be taking you on plane shapes of figures part 1 under the theme mensuration and geometry. But before we go on, let's take a look at our lesson objectives for this class. By the end of this lesson, you should be able to state the properties of a parallelogram, a rhombus, and a kite. And you should be able to identify these shapes in the environment. Now let's start with what a plane shape is. A plane shape is a two-dimensional shape that is closed on a flat surface. A plane shape has length and breadth but no thickness. Some examples are triangles, squares, or rectangles. But in this class, we'll be learning the properties of the parallelogram, the kite, and the rhombus. Now let's start with the parallelogram. A parallelogram is a quadrilateral where opposite sides are equal and parallel. Let's look at the parallelogram ABCD given. In this parallelogram, you can see that line AD is equal to line BC, and you can see that line AB is equal to line DC. Mathematically, AB is equal to DC. This means that line AB is equal to line DC. Also, AB is parallel to DC. This is the sign we use to show that lines are parallel to each other. Another property of a parallelogram is that the opposite angles of a parallelogram are always equal. Now let's look at our parallelogram SPQR. We can see that angle S is equal to angle Q and angle P is equal to angle R. Mathematically, angle S is equal to angle Q. This symbol is used to represent angles. And for this class, the last property of a parallelogram is that the diagonals of a parallelogram bisect each other. Bisect means to cut exactly in half. Now if you look at our parallelogram DEFG, from this parallelogram, we can see that diagonal DF bisects diagonal EG and vice versa. Now note that these two diagonals meet at point K. Now, since these two diagonals bisect each other, we can see that line EK is equal to line KG and line DK is equal to line KF. Parallelograms can be seen in our environment. We can see it at the roof of a house. And from this diagram, where we have a caution sign on a construction site, you can see that one of the stripes have the shape of a parallelogram. Now moving on to the next shape we'll be talking about in this class, we have the rhombus. Now before we go into the properties of a rhombus, what is a rhombus? A rhombus is a special kind of parallelogram. It is a quadrilateral too, but this time it has 4 equal sides. Now going on, the first properties of a rhombus we have is that the two pairs of the opposite sides are parallel to each other. Now, in our rhombus QPSR, we can see that line QR is parallel to line PS and line QP is parallel to line RS. Mathematically, this expression shows that the sides of a rhombus are equal to each other, and this expression shows that line QP is parallel to line RS and line QR is parallel to line PS. The next property of a rhombus is that the opposite angles of a rhombus are also equal to each other. From this rhombus, we can see that angle D is equal to angle B and angle A is equal to angle C. Mathematically, this expression shows that angle D is equal to angle B and angle A is equal to angle C. And the last property for this class of a rhombus is that the diagonals of a rhombus bisect each other at right angle. Remember, a right angle is 90 degrees. From this diagram, we can see that diagonal RP bisects diagonal QS at a right angle, and they meet at point T. Now, since they bisect each other, line RT is equal to line TP, and line QT is equal to line TS. Diagonal PR is perpendicular to diagonal QS. Therefore, all 4 angles at point T are right angles. Now, you might be wondering where we can see the shape rhombus in our environment. The flag of Brazil has it, and on the card as well. Now the last shape we'll be looking at today is the kite. The kite is a shape with two long sides that are equal and two short sides that are equal. The two long sides of a kite are adjacent to each other, and the two short sides of a kite are also adjacent to each other. Now let's see the properties of a kite. The first property of a kite is that the two long sides are adjacent to each other, and the two short sides are also adjacent to each other. Adjacent means that the two sides lie next to each other. Now if we look at our kite ABCD, we have two short sides, line AD and line CD, and we have two long sides, line AB and line BC. We can see that line AD is adjacent to line DC, and we can see that line AB is adjacent to line BC. Mathematically, line AB is equal to line BC, and line AD is equal to line DC. This is because the long sides are equal to each other and the short sides are equal to each other. Another property of a kite is that one pair of opposite angles is equal. That is the angles between the long side and the short side. In this kite, we can see that angle P is equal to angle R. Angle P is between the short side PS and the long side QP. And angle R is between the short side SR and the long side QR. So angle P is equal to angle R. The last property of a kite for this class is that the long diagonal bisects the short diagonal at a right angle. Now in this diagram, we can see that the long diagonal DB bisects the short diagonal AC at point E. Line DB is perpendicular to line AC. And since the line DB bisects line AC, this means that AE is equal to EC. In our environment, we can see kites and they look like this. Having looked at the properties of a kite, we've come to the end of this class. But before we go, let's take a look at a quick summary of all that we've learned so far. We learned that a plane shape or figure is a closed two-dimensional shape on a flat surface. We also learned that a plane shape has length and breadth but no thickness. Going on, we learned that a parallelogram is a quadrilateral where opposite sides are parallel and equal. We also learned that a rhombus is a special kind of parallelogram and that it is a quadrilateral with 4 equal sides. And finally, we learned that a kite is a quadrilateral with 2 equal short sides and 2 equal long sides. Test time. Question 1. Which of the following statements is not true about the kite? Option A. The kite has 2 equal long sides. Option B. The kite has 1 pair of equal opposite angle. Option C. The kite has 2 pairs of equal opposite angles. Or option D. The kite has 2 equal short sides. The correct answer is option C. The kite has 2 pairs of equal opposite angles. Question 2. Which of the following statements is true about the shape given? Option A. It has only 1 pair of equal opposite angles. Option B. It has a long side and a short side. Option C. It is not a quadrilateral. Or option D. It is a special type of parallelogram. The correct answer is option D. It is a special type of parallelogram. Thank you for your time. I'm sure you now know the properties of a rhombus, parallelogram, and a kite. Till we meet again. Bye-bye.